Today we will discuss about, so in last class we have discussed about this condition option, right? So last class we have discussed about condition option and top option, right? So today also we will try to see the how to do the same thing in SQL. Okay. So in the what we have seen in the last class is like we have to count how many customers are there having sales greater than 10,000, like that, right? So we have seen how to do this thing with the help of condition option, and we have seen top option to find out top 5 customer based on the sales value. So today we'll try to see how to achieve the same requirement in SQL. So today we will introduce few more concepts in the SQL, like how to create subqueries, common table expressions, views, and physical tables. So let's see one by one. So first let me tell you the requirement. So we have to find out, let's tell you the requirement again. So we have to find out count of customers having sales greater than or equal to 10,000. Okay, so this step involves actually two things. So to find out this requirement, we have to we have two steps mainly. So the step one is like, first we have to aggregate the data at a customer level. So aggregate data or aggregate sales at customer level. This is the first step we have to complete. Second step we have to do is filter the data. Filter the data and count customers. So first see, so let's drag the customer name into the row shelf. So I have different customers are there. And when you drag the sales into the text here, now just arrange it in a descending order. Now we have different customers are there whose sum of sales is, we are aggregating the sales at customer level. So for example, assume that we have a Seth version. This customer is there. This customer total sales is 1 lakh actually. So this 1 lakh is, so we already learned in the first class that, so this is the aggregated data, and we have row level data also. For example, for this person, the total is so for this customer, the total sales is 1 lakh. So this is not because of a single row. So in the back end, we have multiple rows for this person. For example, row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. So like that, we have so many rows for this person in the back end. And when we do the summation of all these rows, like you see, whenever I drag the sales into the text here, it is automatically displaying sum of sales. So this sum of sales is due to summation of all the rows in the back end for this particular person. So in that way, the total sales for this customer is 1 lakh actually. Similarly, if you take this person, second person, total sales is 43,000 aggregated sales. So in the back end, this person maybe is from multiple records. For example, if you see the row level data here, if you see for this person in the back end, he is having multiple rows. When I do the summation of all these rows, right, then that is summation means we are aggregating. So when we are doing the aggregation for this person, for all those rows, it is summing up to 43,000. And similarly for all the customers. So this is how we have to, this is the first step one we have to do. Okay. So this is step one we have to do. Next, what is the step two here? Once we do the step one, now you see out of all these customers, we have some customers whose sales are less than 10,000. And if you see here, till these persons, all these persons are having sales greater than 10,000, and all the below customers are having sales less than 10,000. So we have to count, we don't want to count these persons who are having sales less than 10,000. We have to take only these customers only, and we have to count all these customers because all these customers are having sales greater than 10,000. So this is the second step we have to achieve. So let me repeat the question again. So we have to find out all the customers, count of customers. We have to find count of customers whose sales are greater than 10,000. We have to find out. So first step is we have to aggregate the data at customer level. So simply drag the customer name into row shelf, sales into the text here. It is giving the sum of sales automatically. So in this way, we'll aggregate the data at customer level. So this is the first step we have achieved. And second step is we have to take all the customers whose sales are greater than 10,000. Like all these customers are having sales greater than 10,000, and we have to count all these persons, one, two, three, like that. We have to show the count of these persons like that. So let's see how to achieve the same thing in the, like, to achieve the same thing in Tableau. What we have done is like, we are just dragging the customer name to the filter cell, or let me show you. Just make the, we have achieved the same thing with the help of condition option. You can go to the previous class, but for now just edit the sum of sales here. What is the at least value we have to take here is 10,000. Now you see, if I take all these customers are having sales greater than 10,000, if I count all these customers are 43 customers are there having sales greater than 10,000. So in the last class, we have seen how to achieve the same requirement using condition option. And in this class, we will see how to achieve the same requirement with the help of SQL. So let's go to the MySQL here. The first step we have to do is we have to aggregate the data. So this is the first step we have to do. Aggregate the data at customer level. So let's go to Microsoft MySQL. Under tables, we have, let's take, so let's say, let's take this data. Select rows. See, if I, when I do select star, it will select all the columns in that table. So these are all the columns in that particular table. But what I want customer name and sales only. So what I will do, I'll simply go to the select statement. I'll simply select the customer name. So you see, this is a customer name, and see, to achieve this, we have to use the, see, for this column name, we have to use this inverted commas here. So how to use this inverted comma, how to put these commas is just press the keyword, just left to the keyword one. So in the keyboard we have one, two, three keyboards, right? Keywords, right? So just left to the keyword one, we have a one keyword is there. We just have to press that symbol. So that is giving you this symbol actually. Why we have to use this symbol for column name actually? In general, we need not to use this comma, inverted commas here. You see, for example, if I take sales here, for sales I'm not taking these commas, these inverted commas. But why we have to take for this customer name means, you see, for customer name, this is the column name. For this column name contains a space here. So whenever there is a column with this some space between the column name, right, then we have to use these commas. Okay, we have to use these inverted commas. Okay, like that. Just give me a second. So when I say now we will try to achieve the first requirement, we have to aggregate the data at customer level. So To aggregate the sales at customer name level, we have to use the sum of sales. Why? Because a particular customer is repeating in multiple rows. If you want to do the summation of all those rows, we have to use the sum of sales. Okay, let's assume that this is a total sales. So I'm analyzing it as a total sales. Now we have already learned in Tableau, in the entire query we have two columns, customer name and sales. We are aggregating the sales column here using sum function. Now if we are aggregating one column, we have to aggregate all the columns. Now here we have one more column which is called customer name. As a customer name is a text column, or the customer name is a dimension here, we have to aggregate the customer name column here. We have to use the group by function here. Group by class we have to use. Now you see, in the select statement, I have two columns. One is customer name and one is sum of sales. Sales is aggregated using sum function, and to aggregate the dimension here, remaining columns, I am using the group by class here. Now execute this query. Now you see, I got Aaron Bergman. Now I can see each person in a single row only. Now you see Aaron Bergman is having 886 sales here. This 886 sales is because of not a particular row. So this person is repeating in multiple rows in the backend. So when we do the summation of all these rows, like using sum of sales, we are getting 886. Similarly for all the customers. Now I want to arrange it in a descending order using sum of sales column. So I can use order by class here. We have discussed this thing in the initial class, descending order. So let's execute this. Now you see, first I will get the most highest person having sales, second highest person with respect to sales, third highest person, like that. Okay. So we have achieved our first requirement, like our first step, that is first aggregating the sales at a customer level. For each and every customer, we are getting sales. Okay. Now the second step is we have to filter the data and we have to count the customers. Now how to achieve the second requirement here actually. So assume that this is whatever the output we got here. Assume that this is a table here. So assume that this is a table. But you see how we are getting this table here means we are getting this table here because of this entire query. Now what we do is we don't have this query in the table list, right? We don't have this table. What are the table we got here? This table is not there in the tables list. So what we have to do here is first we have to create this table in this table list here. Okay. Now how we are getting this table? This table we are getting because of this entire query. Now what we will do, using this query, we have to create a table in this list here. So that that type of tables are called views actually. VIEWS views. Okay. So first what we are doing, we are getting this output table because of this entire query. Now what we do, using this entire query, we are going to create a table in this schema. Okay, that table is called views actually. Those tables are called views. So if I go to our class here, so first we'll see how to create views actually. Okay, very simple one. So I'm trying to convert this query into a view actually. Okay, in the database we have a concept called tables and views. So table means these are the physical tables. View means if I create any table using a SQL query, those are called views. For now, just remember, if I create a table using the SQL query, that is called a view actually. So now let's see what is the syntax to create a query. Sorry, let's see how to create a view actually. So I can say view. So to create the view, right, this is a syntax actually. Create view, and here we have to use the view name B30. I'm just saying view here, view orders, customer orders. I can say. Okay. Now in the brackets we have to write the query. I think you have seen how to create the table, right? We have seen how to create the table in the previous classes. In the fourth class, we have seen how to create a table. So there, what is the syntax for creating table? Create table, table name we have to use. Here also the syntax for creating the view is create view. We have to write the view name here. And before writing the view name, I want to create this view name in which schema? I want to create this view in the GVKR schema. So you can use the schema name dot view name. And after here, we have to use the as here. Now cut this entire query here, put that within these brackets. So in this way, we are creating the view here. Okay. Now let's execute this query. I think once that query runs successful, right? You can see here the query has run successfully. Now, if you want to see where this view is created, right? You can go to view list here, views list. If you want to see the existing tables, you can go to this table list. If you want to see where this view is created, you can go to this views list. Just right click here, just refresh all. Now you see, when you drop down here, I can see this view is created here. Okay. Now what I will do, I want to select something from this view and I want to see what are the columns we have in this view. So simply click on this view drop down. You see in this column, in this view, I have two columns, customer name and total sales. You see in this select statement, we have this customer name and we are using sum of total sales, right? So these are the column names we have. Okay. Now, if you select star from this view name, right, then it will give you output for that particular view. Just select only this select statement here. Just use in comma here, this symbol here, colon symbol. Now, you see when I run this view, I can see that this view contains only two columns, customer name and total sales. These are the aggregated sales. Why? Because we are getting this from this query. Okay. Now, what I want to do, my requirement is I want to count how many customers are there having sales greater than 10,000, right? Now I'll simply go to where class here. Now I'll simply write total sales must be greater than or equal to 10,000. And when this condition is satisfied, what I want to count actually, I want to count how many customers are there. So simply do the count of customers I want to do. I want count of customer name. So let me, okay, let's take this again. Okay. Let's see how many customers we will get here. Just execute this query. You see, we are having 21 customers whose sales are greater than 21. Sorry. We are getting count of customers whose sales are greater than 10,000. How many customers are there having sales greater than 10,000? 21 customers. I think if you are using the Word version, right, 2021 point version, we are having this data set actually in the Tableau for practice purpose. Okay. Now you are not sure that is it really correct or not. You don't know. If you want to see this manually, right, what you can do is I can go to my query one, try to execute the same query, Control C, execute the same query. Now use having class to filter the data. Having this sum of sales should be greater than or equal to 10,000. Okay. Let's remove right here. Okay. You see, in this query, what we are doing manually, we are aggregating the sales for each customer, and to filter the aggregated data, what we have to do, we have to use the having class here. So in this case, just run this query. Now you see, if you count all these customers, right, you will get 21 here. If you try to count all these customers, you will get 21 customers. Okay, in that way, we have to check the data manually. Okay. Now this is how we can achieve the requirement using by creating views actually. By creating views, we can achieve the requirement in this manner. So now I will tell you what is the difference between physical table and views. Okay, what is the meaning of physical table? You see, whatever the tables you see under this tables list, right? All those are called physical tables. What is the meaning of physical table? For example, assume that I have I have money in my pocket. So that is a physical money. You are having money in your pocket. That is a physical. And if, for example, if you are having your money in the ATM card, right? You are not having that money physically, but you have that money. Whenever you want, you can go to the ATM and you can withdraw the money. Okay, that is the meaning of virtual thing. Virtual means you don't have money in your pocket, but whenever you want, you can go to the ATM card, ATM center, and you can withdraw the money. So that is the called virtual thing. So similarly, views are virtual views actually. When you try to execute this virtual table, right? When you try to execute this virtual tables like B30, this one, virtual table means it won't store the data actually. In their pocket, it won't store the data. Whenever you try to execute this view, at this time, it will try to execute this entire query. So this is the view which is created from this SQL query, right? So whenever you try to execute this view using the select statement, it will try to execute this query, and at that point of time only it will execute the query and it will get the result in this output like this. So these are kind of virtual tables. Now, what is the difference between virtual tables and physical table means? Physical tables means assume that you have money in your pocket. When I ask you for money, you can immediately give your money in a fraction of seconds. You can give money. It is fast actually. But whenever you try to execute the views which are created from other queries, right? Whenever I execute this query, then it will execute this query and it will give the result. So we have to go to the ATM and we have to withdraw the money. Then you have to give the money to me. So it will take some time actually. So when you views will take some time. These are a virtual tables. When you try to execute the views, it will take some time to execute. Why? Because it has to run this query. This is the query we are using to create these views. Okay. Views are virtual, not the physical ones. They don't store the data. Actually, this is the view. This view contains, this view is created from this query actually. So this view stores the query actually, not the data. Views stores the query, not the data. But you see, physical tables are physical tables stores the data actually. Because of that reason, physical tables are fast comparing to the views. So in real time, right, we have to sometimes create the we have to create we have to create these views actually. So whenever there is a requirement to create a view, we can create the view using this syntax. Now, now I will go to the next session, which are nothing but subqueries or common table expressions. CTE means common table expression. You see, um, here what is the thing is views, CTEs, subqueries are all are almost similar only, but the syntax is different actually. To create the view, I used some different syntax. If you want to create the subqueries, the query is same, but the syntax is different. Okay, let's see how to create the queries or subqueries actually. So this is the query we are using for creating this view, right? Now, using the same query, I will create a subquery now. Now, how to do that means, let's go to the query. Okay. Now you see, I can achieve the same requirement by creating subqueries also. Okay, let's see how to create those subqueries. Okay, so what I will do, just go to this one, go to any one table here, just to get the new. I want to get new window actually. So select rows. We'll say simply it will create a new query. Okay. So this is the query we are using for aggregating the data at customer level. So the same query we are using for creating the view earlier, right? Now you see, instead of creating view, now I want to convert the same query into subquery. Now what is the meaning of subquery? So what I will do is I'll put entire query within the bracket, and I am assuming that this is a table actually. This is a subquery table. Table means I have to give this table a different name here. Let's assume that this is a customer subquery. Customer name subquery. Okay. Now assume that, so this will act as a temporary table. This will act as a temporary table. Now, as this is a table, right? We in real time we will use always table name. We will give all the tables in the from statement only. So because of that reason, assume that in the from statement, I am executing this query. I am assuming that this subquery has a temporary table. So for temporary table, we have to give some name here. So use the open braces and closure braces here. Assume that this is a this table name is customer name subquery. Now I'll use the select statement here. Now what is my requirement? Now this subquery contains two columns, customer name and total sales. Now what is my final requirement? I want to count how many customers are there. Control C, Control V, and I have select statement here. I have from statement here. In the from statement, this is the table name I am using here, and I'll go to my where clause here. I'll apply the same condition. Total sales should be greater than or equal to 10,000. Now let's execute the same query. We'll see what is the result we will get. You see, now we got the same result here. But we have achieved this requirement using this subquery concept. Okay. So what is the difference between views and subqueries means? Subquery means, okay, subquery means this subquery is available for this entire query only. This subquery is not created anywhere in this tables list or in this views list. So this subquery is available for this end in this window only. If you go to the another window, this subquery is not available because we are writing this subquery within this from statement. But you see, whenever you create a view, right, this view is available in this views list. So wherever you go, for example, if I go to the new query, right, I can directly use that subquery here. I can use directly that view here. You see, I can directly go to the view here, just refresh it. See, whenever you don't see some views or tables what you just created, right, simply right click and refresh on. Now you see I got this view. So I can use this I can use this view anywhere, any window, but not subqueries. Subqueries are available only within that window only. If I go to another window, these subqueries are not available. So you see, we are using the same query for creating views, subqueries, common table expressions, and anything. The syntax is the only difference, but we are using the same query for creating everything: subqueries, common table expressions, and all those. Okay. See, I just forgot here one thing. Subqueries are also called just remember this one. I will update here later. Subqueries are also called derived views. Derived views. Derived views are nothing but subqueries. Okay, we have seen how to create views. We have seen already in the initial classes how to create physical tables. We just have seen how to create views and subqueries. Now we will see how to create common table expressions. Okay, see, in general, in real time, right, what you do is what the count function will do. For example, if the customer name, for example, customer name C1 is repeating 2 times, right? The count function will count 2 times actually. So here in general, we have to use count distinct, right? So we have to use one more keyword here, which is called a distinct count. But here I'm using only count function only here. Why? Because in this scenario, count and count distinct will give you the same result. Why? Because when you aggregate the data at a customer level, for each and every customer, we have some particular single row only. For customer name, we have one single row. For customer two, we have single row. Why? Because we are aggregating the data already. So even if you use count or count distinct, as the customer name is existing only in the single row only, it will count only one time only. So for this scenario, if you use count or count distinct, uh, it will give the same result. But best practice is in real time, we have to use the count distinct function here. So count distinct, what it will do, it will eliminate the duplicate records. For example, if the customer is repeating in multiple rows, it will count only one time only. Okay. Now let's go to uh, now let's copy this query which we are using. This is the query which is aggregated at customer name level for totals, for getting the total sales, and we are using the same query for creating views, subqueries. And now go to the new window and we'll see how to create a common table expression. See, let's continue in this window only. Maybe that is fine. So create all like this, close all like this. Okay, copy. Okay. Now let's go to get the new window, right? We have to just use this option. Now you see, I just copied the same query here, which we are using for creating the subqueries and views. Now, how to create common table expression? So common table expressions are simply called CTEs, common table expressions, CTEs. So to create CTEs, what is the syntax means? With this is the syntax actually. With you have to give your CTE name here, like let's give my CTE name is customer sales. As keyword we have to use, and after that within the brackets we have to write this entire common table expression. Entire query we have to write within this syntax. So if someone is asking you how to create subquery, how to create view, right, then you can simply tell this is the syntax for creating the common table expression. And they will ask you sometimes in other way also, why do we use with keyword? They will ask you, why do we use with keyword? You can say simply, we will use with keyword to create the common table expressions. Okay, now you do. So this will create a common table expression. The name of the common table expression is this one, B30C first sales. Now I will see what we have in the common table expression. So select star. I'll use, see, as the best practice is in which schema you want to create this common table expression. Okay, we have to give that schema name also, gvkr dot schema name. Control C, maybe we'll see, will execute or not. Okay, don't use this here. It's the common table expression. Now execute this entire query. See, if you try to execute only the select statement, right, it will give you some error here. It will give some error here. Why? Because so this is the common table expression. Like this is a some table here. This table is available within this window only, like subqueries. So because of that reason, you see here we are using select star from this common table expression. But when you select only the select statement, it don't understand what is this table here. In the from statement, we are using this table name, right? SQL will not understand what is this table here. Why? Because this table is not existed in this tables list or in the view list. So this is the common table expression that is available within this window only. So before executing this query, we have to execute this query also. So what we do in real time is we have to execute this entire query in a single shot. In a single time, you have select all this query. So in this way, what it will do? First, it will execute this line of code, which will create this common table expression. In the second thing, it understands that, okay, this is the common table expression. They have just created just in the above here. Okay. So just select entire this here. Just run this. Now you see here we have this common table expression contains two columns only. For each customer, it is showing the total sales. Why? Because this common table expression is created from this query. In this query, we have customer name and total sales for that customer. So total customer name, total sales like this. Now I'll repeat the same thing. I'll go to the where class here. Where what is the column name? Total sales. See, just copy that here. It should be greater than or equal to 10,000. And in the from statement, just do the count of all that. Count of distinct customer name. Okay. So if you execute this entire query where clause, just give it is giving some error here. Okay. Don't use space between the greater than or equal to. Now you see, now also I got the same result, which we achieved with the help of common table expressions, views, and subqueries also. Okay. But in real time, based on your requirement, right? Based on your requirement, you can use any one of the thing. You can use any one of these three options: subtables, common table expressions, and all those. Okay. Now let me tell you one more thing here. In the previous class, we have seen how to find the top 5 customers based on the sales, right? Based on sales value, how to find out the top 5 customers. We have seen that requirement using top option in the Tableau. Now we will see how to achieve the same requirement here. To achieve the same requirement, you must have to follow this thing here. What is the thing here is, first we have to create common table expression here. Then we have to, okay, let me tell you. First we have to create common table expression. Okay, first let me tell you that requirement in Tableau. You see, first we have to drag the customer name into row shelf, then drag the sales into text here. Now arrange it in a descending order. In this way, it will show you top customers in the first rows, and like that, it will show you the customers based on the sales in a descending order. If I want to show the top 5 customers, right, I want to show these top 5 customers based on their sales value. So what I will do, if I ask you who is the rank one in your class, right, what you do based on the sales, sorry, based on their marks, you are going to assign the ranks here. This is the rank 1 person, this is the rank 2, this is the rank 3 person, this is the rank 4, this is the rank 5 person. I want to show only till rank 5 persons only I want to show. Top 5 persons only I want to show. So to achieve this requirement also, first we have to aggregate the data, aggregate the sales for each and every customer. So, so here we have to use maybe multiple common table expressions. So what I will do first here is like, see, first I'm aggregating the data for each and every customer using this common table expression one. Okay. So I got this requirement. Sorry. So this entire thing, right? This entire thing is giving you customer wise total sales. So which is similar to this view what you are seeing here. Now the second step is uh, now the second step is we have to assign the rank to each and every customer based on their sales value. Just remember important. Assign rank 1, rank 2, rank 3 based on the sales values. Okay. When I say rank here, you have to use rank here. So I'll go to, see, first I have created common table expression 1 here. Now what I am doing here is, now I am creating one more common table expression. So I have already created one common table expression here using with keyword. So this is the common table expression 1. Now I want to create one more common table expression. Simply what you do is simply use the comma here, then go to the next line. Then you are giving the common table expression name here, right? CTE name, right? Now you can give you the second CTE name here. Like you can give customer rank here, customer rank. Okay. Now, what is the syntax we have to use to create a CTE name here? This is the syntax: table name and as keyword. So table name I have given already here, as I have given already. So here we are using comma here. Now within this brackets here, so we are using within brackets. We have to write our query here. Okay. Now we see how to achieve this requirement here is. So I'm just using select star here from here. So this is already aggregated sales at each and every customer name level. So I'm taking all these two rows here. So I have already created CT1 here, right? You can take the same CT1 here in the second table here, the second common table expression. So this table contains how many columns? This is the CTE which is created in the above query. In this query, we have two columns, customer name and total sales. Okay. So here you can write the same query. Just do the alias here. I'm simply saying cust name here. Okay. So just use the same query, Control C and Control V, comma, total sales. Now we have to assign the ranks, right? So before assigning rank, what we have to do? First, arrange it in a descending order. Based on the sales, arrange it in a descending order. So to arrange it in a descending order, what I will do is I'll go to my Tableau here. Sorry, SQL here. Here I can use order by class. Order by, based on the sales value, I want to arrange in a descending order. DESC we have to use. For ascending order, we have to use the ASC keyword. For descending order, we have to use the DESC syntax here. Okay, let's see. So it is showing some error here. Let's see what is this error. From is not a valid. It is expecting alter analyze. Just give me a second. From city to has elicit select. Um, see, just give me a second. It is throwing some error here. Let's see if that is sales, right? Control C. Okay, let's execute this one. We'll see what will happen. Okay, maybe this is not in general. We can create multiple common table expressions like this. But what is the MySQL showing here is MySQL is showing some error here. Okay, while creating the second common table expression, it is throwing some error here. But no problem. What we will do is I'll cut the same syntax here. Let's cut the same syntax. Now I can use the same syntax in a where class, in a from statement actually, as a subquery. You know, we already created subqueries. So use the same subquery here. Let's see, it is showing some error here. Also, it is showing some error. Not sure why. Let's remove this. Just give me some time. If you are not getting right, no problem. We'll do it in a next class also. Why? Because we will see this rank function very frequently in the next classes.
I think Venkat, in the select statement, if you remove the comma here in the down, select star from. So you have
Select.
placed.
Oh, exactly correct. Let me do control Z actually. Yeah, correct. So so I can create second city also. Just remove this comma here. Wow. Thanks, friend. Good catch. So we can get multiple common table expressions like this, and you see, we have to arrange the customers based on their sales value in a descending order. Now we have to assign the rank for these customers. Now, while assigning the rank, right, we have to uh, Based on the total sales only, we have to arrange the we have to assign the ranks, right? So to assign ranks in SQL, we have one function which is called rank function. Just use rank here. While using rank here, we have to use the over keyword. Okay. So this will give you rank of all these customers. Let's say these are the rank of customers. Now, you see, simply we have to mention first, we have to understand manually everything. Then we have to write the query. So what is the requirement? For each customer, we have to assign rank. Okay. For that, I'm using rank function here. Based on the sales value, I want to assign the rank, right? So what I will do, I have to mention here that order by total sales. Based on the sales only, we have to arrange the ranks, right? So arrange it in a descending order, then assign the ranks. First arrange it in a descending order, then assign the ranks. Maybe you can remove this keyword also. Here it is not a problem. So within this custom column, we are saying that first arrange the entire table in a descending order based on the sales value, then assign the ranks. Okay. So we have created two common table expressions. To create common table expression, the syntax is with keyword. Then this is the first common table expression. At the end of the first common table expression, use the comma here. Then give the common CTE to name here. Use the as keyword. Then write the query CTE query within these brackets. In these brackets, I'm writing this entire query based on the first common table expression. So this table what we have created in the above, we are using the same query in the from statement here. So in this query we have two columns, customer name and total sales. So I'm taking those two columns here. Now after that I'm creating one more new column here. So in the tableau we will be creating calculation fields, right? In a similar fashion we are creating the custom calculations here. So now let's see. Let's come to the final. Now let's execute this entire query. Select star from this is the common table expression to select from this. Let's see execute in entire query how we are getting. We'll see the output. Now you see what is this entire thing will do is for each and every customer will be arranged in a descending order because of this thing based on the sales value. This rank is assigning ranks to each and every customer here. And I don't want all these persons. I want to show only top 5 persons only here. So what I will do in the at the last select query, I will simply use where clause here. Where this is the column which is giving you ranks here. Rank greater than or equal to 5 I want. Now execute this, you will get the top 5 ranks. Okay, sorry. It should be less than or equal to 5. Sorry. Now you see we got the top 5 customers here. If you want to see top 2 customers or top 1 customer, you can simply select all this and just execute top 1 customer we are getting here. Okay. Now in the tableau we have seen that I want, okay, let's see top 5 customers. Now in the tableau we have seen that I want all these customers from each region. From each region only I want to see all these top 5 customers. So what I will do simply, I'll go to first common table expression. In the where class, I will use my condition here, where region equal to east, like that. Simple. Now execute this query. I'll get the top 5 customers from the east region. Now we see different customers are there. Okay, if you want to think that these customers are correct or not, what we have to do? We have to execute this query manually. Okay, so this is the query we are using to test it manually. So what I will do, I'll apply where clause here, region equal to east. Now let's execute this query. Now we have to use one more thing here. Okay, just giving wrong answer. Bills only. Okay. So customer name is table region equal to east and group by customer name. Okay, having we have to use this one. Let's execute this query. So it is giving only three customers here, and we have got here five customers. Maybe any syntax error here. Okay, actually, it should match with this query. Actually, whatever thing manually you are using here, it should match with this one. Region equal to east. From absolute, we are getting in the output time absolute 13,000 correct only. Hunter low page. Hunter low page 10,000. Okay, next term absolute. Okay, bills only. Bills only 10,000. We are getting all these. We are getting these three persons here, but not the other persons, right? Okay, let me see. This exactly contains only East region data, customer name based on the sales in a descending order. Okay, let's see. We have to use maybe let's put this here. We'll see this tomorrow. But this is the thing we have to practice here. So these common table expressions are very important in real time, maybe in the interviews also. If you are able to answer these common table expressions right, so we are okay. We are good actually. So in this common table expression two here, okay, in the common table expression two here, we are using rank function. So what is the syntax for anything is we have to use rank function here. After that we have to use over class, and within the over class we have to use order by class. So in real time, based on the requirement, we have to use one more class also here, which is called partition by class. Okay, we have to use partition by class also based on the requirement in real time. But we will see this one by one actually. We will see the one by one. If you want to find out the bottom five customers, right? Simply what we have to do, instead of descending, we have to use the ascending order. Okay. In this way, we will get the bottom five customers based on the sales value, like this. Okay. So try to execute this, compare it with this result actually. Or we can go to a Tableau, and in the Tableau also you can do the same requirement. Just filter it to the east region, and we'll see how much. Okay. So just let me go to the topics here. So we have seen subqueries, common tables, and physical tables. How to create physical tables? We have seen, right? Okay. So for example, right, in real time, I have written all this entire query. Okay, I have written this entire query in real time. Okay, this entire query is giving me top five customers. Now, with this entire query, I want to create a physical table in the real time. Now, what I have to do is this simple thing. Everything is very simple, but you have to practice from the starting onwards. Now, to create the physical table, what is the syntax? Create table. The table name what I'm giving is like this one, cust table, cust sales table. For this rank, I can say create table, table name as, maybe we have to use as keyword or not. I'm not sure, we'll see. Now, this column, this table should contain how many rows? Customer name, total sales, and rank, right? It is using three columns. So let's say customer name, make it a character. So just go to the first class, you will understand how to create all this. This is the column name, and this is the data type we have to use here. And then total sales. This is like integer here, and the third one is rank here, right? For the rank, I can say rank customers. So it is also integer, I can say. So this is the table name we have to use here. Just saying some error. Create, okay, create table name. Okay, so we have to remove as here. Okay, so let's execute this query. Now go to the bottom here. Now go to the bottom. See, the query is executed successfully. Now, if you, so we just have created a table only here. The table name is this one. In this table, we don't have anything. So if you want to see, select star from Just give this table name here, Control C, Control V. If you select the only particular this thing here, right? You see, we just have created columns only, not the data here. So now what I want to do is, I want to insert the data into this table. Okay, I want to insert the data into this table using the common table expression what I have created just now. Using the common table expression what I have created just now. So what I will do, I will remove this entire uh, query with keyword. I will remove this entire thing. Now I want to insert values into this table, right? So we have already seen how to insert the values. What is the syntax? Insert into, what is the table name? This is the table name, B30 first rank. Insert into table name we have to give here. Next we have to write values. Insert into table name we have to write, and within the brackets we have to write all our query. Simple. Okay, now let's execute this one. We'll see it will get correct or not. Let's see if it, this is syntax actually, so we'll see it is execute or not. Maybe it is not giving, you have an error in the SQL. Okay, we'll see this later because this class is going long, so we'll see this tomorrow or some another sometime.